In Spider-Man No Way Home, the spell that Doctor Strange cast made everyone forget Peter Parker. But it did not erase their memories of Spider-Man. This is why Happy still knew about Aunt May.
How'd you know her?
Through Spider-Man. You?
Same.
And why MJ and Ned still knew that they were friends with Spider-Man. It's interesting to think about how this might affect MJ and Ned's relationships with Spider-Man in the future. My theory was that Wong may also remember Peter Parker. This is because he was specifically excluded from the spell, as he asked Doctor Strange to do so. If this theory is correct, then Wong could be a valuable ally to Peter in the future.
Nice knowing you, Spider-Man.
In Multiverse of Madness, it's definitely possible that Tony Stark was able to create a suit of armor around the world in Earth 838 without the Mind Stone. Which would mean that he never had to create Vision. The Mind Stone is a powerful artifact, and it's possible that the Illuminati kept it safe after Thanos' defeat. They might have even used it to power their own technology. Ultimately, we don't know for sure what happened to the Mind Stone in Earth 838, but it's an interesting question to think about it.
I'm sorry, is this a joke to you?
Well, there's a guy over there with a fork on his head, so yeah, a little bit.
In Thor: The Dark World, Natalie Portman was not available to film the final kiss, so Chris Hemsworth was given a list of women to take her place. However, he chose to have his wife Elsa Pataky to stand in for Portman instead. Pataky was reportedly happy to help out, and she even wore Portman's wig and costume for the scene. The kiss turned out to be so passionate that some fans even thought it was Portman in the scene.
I like the way you explain things.
It's unclear whether Gaia is secretly working with her dad or if she just genuinely wants to find out what Grevik is up to. The Skrulls have been collecting various pieces of aliens left behind on Earth. Groot's arm could have been recovered from Wakanda, where he was killed in Avengers: Infinity War. The Frost Beast from Thor: The Dark World could have been recovered from the post-credit scene of that movie, in which it was seen being taken to Asgard. Cull Obsidian's arm could have been recovered from the Battle of New York, in which he was defeated by the Avengers. The Extremist's super weapon could have been recovered from the ruins of AIM's headquarters after it was destroyed by Iron Man in Iron Man 3.
And what they really want.
In Man of Steel, during the final battle, we can see a bus with the number 6370. The bus number 6370 is a subtle nod to the world engine's gravity beam, which would have traveled the same distance to reach the Earth's core. This is a clever detail that many fans may have missed, but it adds an extra layer of depth to the film.
Zod ship uses the same technology, and if we can make the two drives collide with one another...
In Venom: Let There Be Carnage, at one point Venom got stuck under some broken pieces of the cathedral, but then he saw that Carnage and Cletus were not a match for each other, which motivated Venom to get back up. But notice the way his right arm was shaking. The shaking of Venom's right arm is a very subtle, but effective way of showing how much effort he had to put in to get back up. It's a reminder that even though he's a powerful symbiote, he's not invincible.
Time to die!
That's the spirit!
I mean us!
In the scene where Peter takes everyone to Happy's apartment, Electro turns on the television with his electric bolt. The news report on the television is about the Statue of Liberty being renovated with Captain America's shield, which is a reference to the final fight in the movie.
Where's the box, Peter?
Blink! We can help everyone!
I don't care!
Zack Snyder received a lot of criticism from fans for the disregard for civilian casualties in his previous films, such as Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. In these films there were many scenes of buildings being destroyed and people being killed in the crossfire. This led some fans to feel that Snyder was being too careless with human life. In response to this criticism, Snyder made a conscious effort to reduce civilian casualties in his later films, such as Justice League and Army of the Dead. These films took place in more isolated locations, such as underground facilities and ghost towns.
I'm really missing Superman right now.
In Avengers: Age of Ultron, we can see that Vision was able to lift Mjolnir. Many people think that this is because he is a machine, but Vision was able to lift Mjolnir because he was worthy, not because he was a machine. The Mind Stone gave him the ability to understand emotions, and he displayed a strong sense of compassion and selflessness throughout the movies. He was also willing to sacrifice himself to stop Thanos from getting all 6 Infinity Stones in Infinity War. In Thor Ragnarok, Karl Urban's character Scourge the Executioner sacrifices himself to save Asgard from Hela's forces. In the scene, Scourge is seen wielding a variety of guns, including a shotgun and an assault rifle. This scene is a reference to the cover of the 1993 Doom game, which features the character Doomguy from the Doom video game franchise. This is because Karl Urban also played the role of Doomguy in the 2005 film Doom. In Captain America Civil War, Tony Stark gives a presentation at MIT about the Stark Foundation's new program to fund student projects. The audience is silent during his presentation, and there are a few shots of people looking bored or confused. This suggests that Tony's presentation was not well received. However, in Spider-Man Far From Home, a flashback shows that Mysterio remembers the moment as far more humiliating than it actually was. In the flashback, the audience is shown laughing at Tony's presentation. This is likely because Mysterio is misremembering the event, or because he is exaggerating the negative reaction in order to make himself look better.
Retroframing, or BARF. God, I gotta work on that acronym. Retroframing, or BARF. Plus $611 million for my little therapeutic experiment.
In the scene where Steppenwolf calls Darkseid, we can notice that his armor retracts. This is a sign of submission and deference. By retracting his armor, Steppenwolf is showing Darkseid that he is not a threat and that he is willing to obey his orders.
They will tell me what they know.
Why didn't Odin protect Earth from Loki and the Chitauri army during the Battle of New York? In fact, Odin helped to save Earth from Loki and the Chitauri army by sending Thor to Earth. However, he was unable to do more than that, because of the destruction of the Bifrost and his own weakened state.
Turn off the Tesseract or I'll destroy it.